What's up everyone, Toy Mantis back with a new video today, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Blackest Night figures. I was going to do just Necron, but I figured since I already had the other figures, I would just do a review on them quickly as well. I'm kind of a big fan of Blackest Night. I read those comics and I think those are just fantastic figures. I'm very happy McFarlane is starting to get into them. So I'm going to go take Nekron out, and I'll go with him first, and then I'll just kind of go down the line, do some comparisons. Okay, here's Nekron outside the box. This figure just looks freaking amazing. The sculpt is just wow. Gonna show him up close really quick. You can see that he's just really bony and clearly a dead dude, right? And he's the entity basically for the Black Lanterns. And he's the guy that's basically that convinces William Hand, aka Black Hand, and he basically uses this guy, and this is what starts Blackest Night. But this dude is basically the most evilest dude in the comics. I just think that this is such a crazy character, and he looks badass. You got some nice whitewashing, like a little bit here, and then it's kind of like grayed, and then it comes a little black in the center, and that heart is kind of grayed out. Through here, you can see the sculpt on him. It's kind of like decomposing. He's got like nice wrap bandaging around his wrist here and his forearm, and a little bit's kind of coming off on the hand. Little black paint's kind of coming off. Hopefully that's not a main issue really, but you can see he's got on the back here, it looks like his hood is kind of like brought down and kind of like drapey. Kind of looks cool. Definitely a nice sculpt. Can move a bit. Got some nice flexibility here. Not like you really need it too much. I don't think he's a character that's going to kick back. Yeah, it's going to kind of keep him from moving too far back, but that's not too much of an issue. Can definitely move forward though. So let's see how much he can bend. Yeah, he's got a pretty nice bend in there. Looks like he's got a little bit of some ugly silver paint right here. Just quality control issues here and there. But, you know, it's still a very, very nice sculpt. Now, the downside on this figure is that he doesn't have any, like, chains where it should be. Now, I can show comparisons from what Mattel did. Obviously, he comes with his Scythe Lantern here. That was something Mattel didn't get to do, but this looks really nicely sculpted. You know, it's kind of plain in the color, but you can see it's got a few color variations here. So pretty nice to finally have this for a Necron. Here is Necron now next to his previous release from Mattel. Now, they both have their pros and cons about them, I think. McFarlane's definitely is blowing, just mind-blowing away with this sculpt, right? But there is just definitely some key details I think are missing. Mattel did capture, I think, just this one part is where the boots are. I think his boots are supposed to be painted that silver, similar to how he shows on his symbols, right? So I think that is something that is missing. You know, there is some shots in the comics, I think, where you can't really tell. It's like black, but I think there is one panel, you kind of see that's silver. So, but that's just, you know, whatever, minor. You can paint it silver if you want yourself, or, you know, it is, just leave it how it is. Definitely wish he had chains like the Mattel version did. And there's just also, you know, Mattel was kind of wrong painting the heart, I think. It looks like in the comics it's mostly just black, how it is in McFarlane's depiction right here. I used the Scythe from the Death Metal Batman there. Since Mattel originally was supposed to have it, but then they took it out. I guess they couldn't, you know, afford it due to cost or whatever. So I think both figures are really awesome, though. I mean, like, they both have their own personal keeps. You know, I like the blue eyes from Mattel, you know, but this white version, you know, with the white eyes, I mean, It's, you know, pretty nice. It's definitely a nice sculpt. You know, you get more detail in that rib cage, whereas in the Mattel version, you know, it's just plain black in there. You know, there's not much detail going on. It looks kind of just, well, whatever. But hey, that was like 10 years ago. So, this figure, though, definitely a dope figure. Here is Necron now next to all of the Black Lanterns that we've got so far. I threw in Black Hand and Adventure from Mattel just because that's how I'm going to have this kind of displayed. Hopefully, McFarlane does continue on releasing Blackest Night figures. Not just Black Lanterns, but, you know, Red Lanterns, you know, Larfleeze, maybe with other figures that are just orange constructs, you know, but articulated and such. Like, I think that's a cool idea. Blue Lanterns, Indigo, you know, all of them, you know what I mean? So hopefully we do get to see more getting expanded on this and not just ending with this one wave. So now let's go take a closer look at Deathstorm, Superman, and Batman. These figures I just think are, you know, awesome, especially Deathstorm. I know there's just not 100% accuracy there because I know, like, from Deathstorm he has kind of like more light bluish flames coming from him. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. This is what we got. At least it's a nicely sculpted figure. Just look at this guy up close. That just looks freaking awesome. I think that's a dope looking figure. Kind of a little bit too blue, I think, on that chest piece here. I think that was kind of trying to resemble the blue flame, but I would have just kept that, you know, like the silver color as it was, or whatever, or white. Not much going on in the back here. Definitely a lot of sculpting, but it's pretty much bland in black coloring. Not like it really required too much, I think. Definitely a nice looking figure. No thigh cut swivel, unfortunately, even though I thought there'd be an opportunity there. But that's kind of is what it is. Now, this figure does come with a lantern. It's pretty much silvered out. Kind of looks similar to the lantern that came with Parallax, but, you know, I think there's just slight differences. This figure, though, is, I think, just probably my most favorite from the three Black Lanterns. You can see they also sculpted the ring, and I'm about to talk about that in a second with Superman here. So, Superman, definitely a cool-looking figure. He didn't come with a flight stand. I just threw that on him because I think he much deserved that, but he didn't get one, unfortunately. But this Superman figure, he looks pretty dope. You know, he looks kind of like zombified, but, you know, obviously Black Lantern, right? He's got those yellow teeth, missing a nose, bright red eyes. But this figure has one big issue to me, and that is that he has no Black Lantern ring sculpted on him. Not even a painted job of it. That's a big no for me. You know, I think, you know, that's what puts the difference between Black Lanterns and zombies, you know, is that they're alive because of the Black Lantern ring, and without it, it's like, well, what are you doing? You know, I would wish that McFarlane would have sculpted something. Maybe he can do something and release like an alternate hand that you could throw on this figure, but I doubt that can happen. I also noticed in the joint here, that pale skin really doesn't match with that middle piece there. I don't know if it's like showing too well on here, but it's kind of like just doesn't match well. It kind of looks weird. So you kind of want to just have him closed up, getting ready to punch, just to hide that, I think, is probably the best thing to do. I do like the cape. It's kind of in three separate pieces here. You can see it's pretty nice and nicely sculpted, I think. Looks all ripped and torn around. I think that is pretty nice. Definitely a good figure on articulation, but he just definitely needs to have, you know, a sculpted ring on him. That's just kind of like my main issue. I pulled my Blackest Night graphic novel out here just to show part of Superman here. And yeah, what is that, McFarlane? What is it? You know, also I noticed in this shot, you know, you can see Superman's got his nose and stuff. Doesn't look as zombified, but I mean, that's kind of just like is what it is, I guess. I mean, I think there's a part where he does look zombified, so it could be an early version before it happens. But just also another, I like this shot a lot because it shows how many great figures McFarlane can release. You got Wonder Woman, you got Kid Flash, Animal Man in the back, Superboy, Green Arrow, and there's other characters, Martian Manhunter, whatever. Definitely a lot of figures to get released, I think. I would like to see, you know, Blackest Night figures keep on coming. Now, Batman here. Batman's pretty cool, too. I wish he was a little bit more dead looking around the body, because the body looks pretty fine and flesh tone and such. Doesn't seem anything's like kind of decomposing or, you know, skinnier. I would have preferred something like that. The cape is pretty well torn. It's got much more of like a bluish tint to it. Definitely love the Black Lantern symbol in the center of them. He looks pretty cool there. Definitely a nice looking face here, though. I love that screaming face. And he does have a ring sculpted on his hand. It's just kind of very hard to tell. And it's kind of also blue as well. I wish that was kind of shown a little bit more as being black, but you know, it is what it is. At least the sculpt is there. But yeah, you know, kind of some improvements can be made. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. He is kind of like my least favorite from this set. Obviously, you can tell why. It's because of that bright green color he has. I think Mattel's version, what you see on the left here, I think they did a more accurate version. You know, it's that darker green. But I also love how they had that construct around his sword with the original, how it just kind of clips around his hand. It's very nicely well sculpted. McFarlane's is too, but it continues on with that translucent lime green, you know. And you can see his lantern is like that as well. And similar to how Parallax had his, which, you know, that's kind of like whatever. But I feel like Kyle Rayner's should have been sculpted just like you see on Mattel's. But hey, if you have it, you can probably just have him hold that one, and I think that would, you know, be a good fill-in. However, you know, that being right next to him probably just makes him look even more lime green. So definitely love the texture on the McFarlane's version. It just doesn't seem like it should have been this color, though. I don't know if McFarlane's going to do another second shot at this character. I hope he does. And another thing I noticed about it, and I think I've seen this on a few other figures as well, is that he has like a bump here, right where the, you know, the undies, whatever you would call that part of the figure. It kind of just has like this, like, you know, line across it. You know, it's kind of weird. But I think I've seen some pictures online, and they have the same exact issue. Definitely great on articulation, and, you know, I like the head sculpt, but I think it just should have been a darker color. Okay, I saved the best for last. The Red Lantern Atrocitus. Also, his original name was Atros. Definitely an amazing character, I think. One of the best villains for Green Lantern. Definitely, this figure is a massive, massive figure, too. I love that this was the Build-A-Figure. His ring's sculpted, so at least, hey, we know we got a ring right there, right? Now, this figure is just, you know, beautiful and bright in colors. Just wow. You know, I'm sorry, I'm astonished by him. I'm a real big fan of Red Lanterns. Now, here you got just kind of like a base black sculpt, and dude's looking pretty thick. You know, definitely a beautiful, well-sculpted figure here, I think. I love that classic tone here. Now, he is kind of, like, weird on that head sculpt, I think. I think he should have had a little bit more exposed head. Like, it seems like he has, like, a covering over it, and the red just changes. So that's a little bit weird to me. Here is Atrocitus now next to his version from the DC Universe Signature line. That was that subscription series, whatever that Mattel had. And I definitely love that figure, but seeing this one, just wow, just destroys it. Definitely a crazy figure to have. Here is Atrocitus next to a few other Red Lanterns. Got Scalix, Dexstar, Nightlick. Hopefully McFarlane does make some more Red Lantern figures. I think Bleeze, definitely a figure I'd like to see get made. And a few other ones. You know, I think McFarlane can really do some very good, themed lantern waves, just kind of dedicated to specific lanterns, unless he wants to just keep mixing it up like how he did this wave. But this figure does kind of look pretty nice next to these guys. Atrocitus is a big dude, so hey, it works for me. My rating of each of these figures, I'd give Green Lantern Kyle Rayner here a 4 out of 10. Superman Black Lantern 5 out of 10. Just because of the missing Black Lantern ring, that's just a requirement, I think, for that figure. Batman, I think, is a 6 out of 10. Deathstorm, 8 out of 10. Nekron, 8 out of 10. You know, definitely needed to have some of those chains, and I think that would have made him a better figure. And Red Lantern Atrocitus, a 9 out of 10. I think that is a fantastic figure. Would definitely be nice to see him come with a Red Lantern, maybe some blood spewing out, something like that. Just a few little extra accessories. I get it, he was a Build-A-Figure, though, so probably wasn't going to come with much. Definitely a nice figure, though. Definitely one of my favorites here from McFarlane. Hopefully he does continue on making the Blackest Night figures. I hope he just, you know, don't stop there. You know, get those other lanterns out there. This is such a beautiful set. I think this is something that McFarlane should just keep on pushing to release. So hopefully it does well in sales and such. But, you know, hey, there's some lessons to be learned here, and he can improve on those for the future releases of Blackest Night figures. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this review. Hit that like button if you did enjoy this video, and subscribe if you'd like to. And my next video should be about Bane, the Nightfall Bane figure. So hopefully I'll see y'all next time. Take care.